Good morning.
Hello.
Live from the lounge, we're talking in real time. New vibes, bold minds, and stories that shine. From chats to laughs, where ideas thrive. So kick back, tune in, we're going live. So kick back, tune in, we're going live.
This episode of Live from the Lounge is brought to you by Built, the loyalty program for renters, transforming rent payments into valuable rewards. Learn more at Built.com.
It's great to be back.
Hello. It is.
Live from the lounge, the Emerson Lounge. When we're here today with you, Steven, can you tell us who you are and where we're at today?
Yeah, sure. My name is Steven Kirk. I'm the maintenance supervisor here at Emerson Seattle Apartments. And outside of work, I mainly keep to myself. I like to play golf. I like to go hiking, lift weights, music, movies, video games, typical stuff. But.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're here today for Carrie's Summer Blitz. Her focus this year is on maintenance. And so we are here today kind of just in the hustle bustle of everyone kind of banding together and helping with various maintenance things. Emerson is a beautiful property here in Seattle. Actually, a funny note is that Emerson was Thrive's very first branding project. So, we were awarded this community. We got to do the naming, the branding, the signage, the web, everything. So it's kind of like our little baby. So we like to nurture it. So it's really exciting to be here today and kind of seeing it like fully stabilized.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know that about Emerson. I like what you did with the place.
Yeah, thank you. Noted.
Yeah. So how long have you been in the industry?
Just over 4 years. I started in May of 2021. I was a personal trainer before doing that, so it was totally new to this and green. But
oh wow, so that's like a pretty drastic switch from a personal trainer into maintenance. What kind of made that switch for you?
Yeah, it was kind of just, personal training has a ceiling if you don't want to be a self-promoter and marketer, and that's just not my nature. So financially, the outlook wasn't great for me. And my girlfriend at the time, ex-girlfriend, Emily Bryant, she was working for Apartment Advantage, and I never really considered this as a possibility, but she was like, you'd be really good at maintenance. You should try it out. So she kind of pushed me in that direction. So I got hired with Waterstone at Silver Creek, and I've been been doing it ever since.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've been with Thrive. Thrive is the first management company you've worked with. So Waterstone first, which if you could share, what is Waterstone compared to something like Emerson, more garden style?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been with Thrive the whole time, only company I've worked with, and I was a new hire tech one at Waterstone. It's a garden style in Bothell, so kind of a big property, but not the most units. It's like 180, 190 units, something like that, but big spread out garden style campus. And I got hired there as a tech one, and then after about a year promoted to tech two, and then was there for another year and a half until I got the opportunity to come here.
Yeah, awesome. I know people don't really realize, unless you're in the industry, how different, at least from a maintenance perspective, but also from like an overall operations perspective, how different it is to manage the two. Like, it's so different because you're different vendors. Typically, garden style doesn't have elevators, so you don't have an elevator vendor. What would you say is maybe like the biggest difference between a garden style versus like a mid-rise?
Probably just, the shape and the systems, essentially. When after my 1 year had passed at Waterstone, Eddie Lopez was my former supervisor there. He started working there, and he was always telling me like, oh, garden style's boot camp. And then, once you've like sharpened your skills, you want to get to a mid-rise because that's where the money's at. And I'm just kind of like, and that's kind of the trajectory I took. The garden style, the property we're at was built in 1986. And so it's just older, and you get a lot more issues with age, especially the area we were in is kind of swampy land. So there's just a lot of things you have to figure out how to fix, and you get good at kind of figuring out how to fix everything. And then come into a mid-rise, a lot of the things are new. Like you said, we didn't have elevators at the garden style. You don't have trash chutes or trash compactors. But a lot of these things that are different are also, we don't really touch. We just monitor it. Like all of these systems I have contracts on. So I keep my eye on my boilers and the HVAC systems and all that. But anything goes wrong, I call my vendors and they handle it.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's great. And we love our vendor partners. What would you say is kind of like your day-to-day? Can you tell us a little bit about what your day-to-day is? Are you in constant contact with vendors? Are you mostly like checking in with your team? What does like a day-to-day in Steven's life look like at Emerson?
I mean, it's hard to give an average day-to-day because every day is so different, but also every day is kind of the same. But
you're on a podcast today.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's
not a normal day. I'm not always on podcasts, that's for sure. But like this morning, for example, I've been already having conversations or calls with my elevator people here doing the 5-year elevator inspections. I got cleaners here cleaning 2 units. I got painters here painting a unit. So checking in with all of them as that's happening, and the landscapers show up. Talk to them, or you see any issues around the property, call the landscapers, or if air conditioner's making a funny noise, call my vendor there. But in a typical day, you show up, clock in, check the work orders, check the emails, whatever is urgent, handle what's urgent, depending on. Now I have a team. Like I was short staffed for a while, so I was kind of doing everything. So it's like I got to go do the trash, I got to go do the grounds, I do the turns, I do the work orders. But now I got people to delegate to, so I'm glad to be able to tell them like, okay, you guys go handle the trash in the grounds. I'm going to be making phone calls, sending emails, whatever. And then depending on the day, it's the big 3 of maintenance: grounds, turns, work orders. So whatever's most important. I always like to say one thing at a time, most important thing first. So it depends on if there's an urgent work order, or it's like, hey, I got a turn that's needs to be painted today, it's getting cleaned tomorrow, moved in the next day. That slow draining sink can wait.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to learn a little bit more kind of about your team. I know you had said that in the beginning it was kind of just you by yourself, and now you're taking on 1 to 2 new maintenance members. I'd love to know kind of how you've helped mentor them. And I know that you've spoken about having a mentor yourself, and how you've kind of taken those ideas from your mentor and given those to the people that you're trying to pull through this industry.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a few people I can thank. So when I first got started, there's a guy named Adolfo Ojeda. I don't think he is with the company anymore, but he was the tech 2 at Waterstone. And I had a supervisor that he was also new to the industry, and he kind of had his hands full with figuring out his new supervisor position. So Adolfo basically showed me the ropes of Waterstone through the first 6 months, and then he left to join crew, and then we got a new tech 1, and I basically trained him. So like within my first 7 months, I'm training a new hire already. And then that old supervisor left. Eddie started at Waterstone, and Eddie and I got along great. Eddie kind of was like, you're going to be a supervisor someday. So he's like, began, guiding me on that path. And it was great working with Eddie, and he helped me get here. And since I've been here, there was one strong maintenance tech here that he had a lot of raw potential, but never really had great coaching. So I kind of helped sharpen his skills and tuned him up to make him a lot better. And he's moved on to something better for him. He left on good terms to be closer to his daughter, but grateful for the time spent with him. And then now where we're at, by some point in April earlier this year, it was just Amani, the community manager, and myself are the only staff on site. And so been rebuilding a new team, and there's no one in the world that knows this building better than me. So, I give a lot of support to the new office staff with whatever questions they have coming back up. And I had one new hire, green to the industry maintenance tech, that started in May, and he's coming along real nicely. And then I have another guy that he's been temping with us through the past couple of weeks, but he officially starts with us August 1st. So I'm excited for him to be a Thriver and part of the team too.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think we talk a lot about culture here at Thrive. And so it's awesome to kind of see you step into that leadership role. Jordan and I talk about leadership a lot. We've been working together for about 1.5 years now. And we're here today doing this crazy podcast that we pitched. And so, no, I think that's really awesome. I'm curious too, with the Thrive culture, with your vision of what leadership is. Can you tell us a little bit about, you mentioned Imani and how it was just you two at first. Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with Imani and how that's kind of grown over the course of your tenure here and kind of maybe your favorite part about working with Imani?
When I first started here, Sonia, who was the manager, had put in her notice to move back to Texas. So we got a new community manager, Matthew, and I think he hired Imani as an ACM, and so she had been here as an ACM for about a year, maybe plus a couple of months when she got promoted to the community manager position. And she's just good. She's good. She's sharp. She's quick. She's got wisdom beyond her years. So I'm grateful for she does whatever she can to lighten my load. And, I got a lot on my plate, and anyone that can help me out in ways they can, I'm thankful for. So she, whenever I need her to step in, like, hey, can you take over this email thread for me or something like that? Or can you order this or call this person? She'll take care of it.
This episode is brought to you by Bilt, the loyalty program that turns every on-time rent payment into the industry's most valuable and flexible points currency. Members can transfer points one-to-one to their favorite airlines and hotels, use them for future rent payments, redeem for rideshare, and more. Head to Bilt.com to learn more.
It's good to hear that perspective too, because I think that's something that I really try to do with my team as well. And sometimes I am like, okay, do they not think I trust them? Do they think that I just don't think they do a great job? And so it's good to hear that perspective, because I think any manager, any person in a leadership role wants to make sure that, they're not ever asking you to do something that they wouldn't themselves do.
Yeah.
But I think it also is always very special to me as a former manager too, a community manager, is the best relationships I always remember having when I was on site was with my maintenance team. So I think you're the only people that get each other because you're the missing piece to their day-to-day. Can you tell us a little bit about like what your day-to-day looks like here, but more specifically what maybe your favorite part about working here at Emerson?
Well, my favorite part is probably just the team, because it's people that I generally enjoy spending time with. It's like, some of the best conversations I've ever had, I've had like 6 hours into painting a turn with another maintenance guy. It's just kind of like, I don't know, there's something about exhaustion where you get vulnerable and have a heart-to-heart or something. But, and I mean, just the nature of the work suits me well. Like, I like to be able to fix things. I like to walk into something that doesn't work and walk away from it working. So the days go by super fast. Like, I don't really ever feel like there's a day that drags. It's more so like, how much can I get into one day of, the to-do list is always longer than the day is. But yeah, I don't know. I like fixing things. I like painting things. So and oftentimes too, just listen to music, cracking jokes with the people you work with is
for sure
makes the day go by.
Yeah. I always joke that I'm the team just like entertainer. And Jordan and I got to go to a fun kind of like out of office, out of state industry conference this year. And that's actually something that I think I walked away with, is like a better understanding of like who she is, because we spent so much time together. And I'm like, okay, she's much younger than me. And at points I'm like, I am so old, but it's kind of fun to see where her and I kind of make up for each other's just quirks. And so, yeah, I think that's really cool to hear. We spend more time with our work family than I think we do sometimes at home. Yeah. So it's good to like them for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I think especially too, with having such like a big property, having team members that you really like working with is so important, especially like when I was on site. The maintenance professionals were very important. I was really new to the industry, just out of college, and I kind of didn't really know what was going on. I was on a roving team and I was constantly moving around. So I would come into a new property. I wouldn't really know what was going on, what their systems were, but there was a maintenance person who always helped me out. So having maintenance just kind of at the forefront is so important. And I think there's a lot of times that maintenance can kind of go unnoticed. What do you think is something that people don't really realize about what it takes to keep up a property like Emerson?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Because like ultimately maintenance is responsible for everything from the roof to the sidewalk. So it's like anything that goes wrong is on our shoulders, and that might be fixing it ourselves or just calling the guy that can fix it. But either way, you have to keep your eyes and ears open and be aware of everything. And like you said, a lot of the things, like if we're doing our jobs, it shouldn't go unnoticed at all, because it's like the trash chutes haven't ever backed up. You're welcome. You know,
Exactly.
Like the lights are staying on, or this and that, or it's kind of like, you know, you might just notice things and fix it without anyone seeing it or saying anything about it. But it's, you know, just all general quality of life stuff for making it a good living experience to live in this building.
Yeah, at last week's Blitz, we talked a lot with Carrie about what Carrie and crew and the Blitz this year means to her, but we also talked a lot about the maintenance team and how they're kind of like always just behind the scenes. And as you mentioned, there's a lot of things even here today, sitting in this lounge, walking through the hallway, that you have a hand in on the day-to-day. This wouldn't be possible without you. And I think Carrie's sentiment walking away from that conversation was just, you really are the backbone. We talked about it before. You're the backbone of the community. So I think that's really important to mention. And being here today, the whole sentiment behind Live from the Lounge is to really highlight our communities, our people. And today, being in the Emerson Lounge, it's obviously a gorgeous community. We have a lot of people here today helping, regionals, maintenance teams from other departments. Carrie, the founder of Thrive. What does it mean to you to have the team here today? And what are you hoping that the impact they leave is in your day-to-day here at Emerson?
Yeah. So, you know, I guess the crew blitzes can be done for a lot of purposes. Like it can be saving a property in distress, or it can just be a little bit of beautification. And that's more so what we're doing here. I like to think we're doing pretty good as far as the numbers go. It's just there's a little bit of a gap between where this building currently is and the potential of where it could be. And, you know, with how busy we are all the time, always doing the most urgent things, some things just get backburnered and don't get addressed because it's not a fire that needs to be put out. But and that's mainly what we want the crew blitz here to do today, is just kind of help give a facelift to the curb appeal. We got some pressure washing out front in the garages, going to be doing some painting in the hallways. We got some new patio furniture they're going to be assembling on the roof. And yeah, because we're doing pretty okay on turns and work orders here, but just the general cosmetics of it all, you know, and that's what they're going to be enhancing here.
Totally. Seeing people kind of come together too from different departments. What does that mean to you? Does that do something in you that's like, you know, obviously appreciative, but like, I think something that with Thrive, our culture is to just lean in and do work to be proud of, and, you know, no job is above us. So does that mean anything special to you to see regionals kind of pulling up their sleeves here today, and, you know, Carrie, the founder of Thrive, 17, 18 years later, seeing what her hard work has become? Does that kind of light something in you too, to feel, you know, maybe empowered?
Yeah, definitely. Because you know, Thrive's a big company, but also like we're all in our little bubbles at our own communities. So it's cool to know that like the network is there. We do have support. There's so many people that we can go to for help. And, you know, like I always say, I wouldn't ask anyone to do something I wouldn't do myself. And that's cool that goes all the way up to the top. Like, you know, I'm sure Carrie could be on a beach somewhere, but she's here, you know, doing labor too. So that's cool to have the support from everyone and have everyone put their money where their mouth is and
totally
show up and help out.
Yeah, I think too, like maintenance as being more behind the scenes people, it is fun, especially for Jordan and I being on the home office side now and being on a support team like marketing. We don't often get the chance to talk or work with maintenance people on a day-to-day. It's mostly the, you know, the clerical side. So I definitely know that there's a lot that you do every day to keep the community running. So it's fun for us to be here today, and we're really excited that you're here and able to chat with us and take time out of your busy day to do that. So yeah, we'll have a long-lasting friendship after this for sure.
Definitely.
I always love to hear like an office person like, man, I spent the day painting. Painting's hard.
Yeah. I have a photo from my very first community. I worked at like a 387 unit community, garden style. And I remember we did a blitz style thing too. And I have a photo, I actually found it the other day, and it was a photo of me painting a hallway. And I just remember being so miserable that day. And I was like, I honestly, I don't think I've painted since. And that's been like 13 years. So definitely kudos and commend you for that, because I don't think I could do it. But you've mentioned too that maybe you couldn't do the clerical side either. So.
Yeah. I'm not a desk job guy. I can't sit still. I need to be moving. I'm a fidgety type of person. So this line of work suits me well because I stay active. And I'm bouncing around all the time.
Yeah.
I'm curious, do you remember your very first work order?
Yeah. It was a clogged toilet. It was a clogged toilet. Yeah.
How fun.
I was hired where my schedule was going to be Tuesday through Saturday. And so I started on a Tuesday and had 4 days with other people. And then they're like, well, you're alone for your first Saturday. So do your best, do your Grace Hills, do some pressure washing. And I'm like, sure. And then the leasing agent comes up and she's like, hey, I know you're not doing work orders, but these people have a clogged toilet and they have a 1x1. So, and I was just like, sure. Well, I mean, at least the supervisor had on my first day been like, here's the toilet auger. You're going to need to know how to use this. So
that's so really funny.
Went and got that done.
Jordan, I'm curious if when you were on site, did you ever have to take on like a maintenance task? Like I know there's days where like maintenance just maybe isn't in, or I remember having to do one. So I'm curious.
I have some pretty interesting ones that I probably can't talk about, but
I'm
more interested now.
We can talk offline about it.
For sure. I don't know if there are any specific ones. Our maintenance team, since I was on the roving team, they were super helpful all the time. So most of the time I didn't have to go in and do anything, which I was very, very thankful for.
That's really funny. I think the one moment after you said a clogged toilet, yes, when I was a community manager in the U district, I had a resident come to me and say that they clogged both of their toilets. And so I was like, okay, do you have a plunger? Let's start process of elimination here. And he said, no, what's a plunger? And I said, and so I said, this is a plunger. So he said, okay, I will go get one. And I assumed that meant he was going to go to the store and purchase one. We were around the corner from a Safeway. And so then I see him like 6 hours later and he goes, do you have a bathroom in the leasing office? And I was like, no, unfortunately, we were a very small building. And so I said, no, have you not fixed the toilet? Like I can help you, but just let me know. And he said, yes, I ordered one on Amazon and it'll be here in 48 hours.
Oh no.
And I said, okay, no. So I got out of my chair. I walked up to the Safeway. I got him 2 plungers. And then I went up and plunged his toilet. And from that day, he never forgot that moment. And I actually did run into him recently. And then he started following me on social media and he recalled that moment. So I was like, so it's those impact moments where like, I will never forget for certain reasons. And then he will never forget for those same reasons. So it's just really funny. That's funny that you remember that.
Funny, I know. I feel like that's a very interesting first one. So I kind of want to switch gears and play a fun little game. So we asked the community manager, Imani, a couple of questions about you, and I want to see if you can kind of guess what her answer was, but I also want to hear what you have to say. So the first question is, what is your favorite type of work order?
When I knock on the door and the resident says false alarm, never mind, you're good. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll close that out, mark it complete.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think appliance repair is one of the most interesting. Like, I'm not always excited to see appliance repair work order come in because it's like they can be time consuming. I'm like, I don't have 2 hours to look at your dryer right now, but I'm always intrigued by taking it apart and putting it back together and making it work.
Yeah, interesting. So she said anything drain related. Do you think that kind of maybe ties back to your plunging experiences there.
That's definitely tongue in cheek there. Yeah, because that is, one of the most common work orders we get is clogged drains and jam disposals. I didn't know you could jam a disposal before I started doing maintenance, but they sure find a way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you gotta find something to be amused about, bring a good attitude to an unpleasant task. So, if I pull a big clog out of a drain, I'll take a picture and show it to everybody just because, hey, look what I did.
Yeah, big catch of the day.
Yeah, showing off pictures of fish.
we need to maybe have a mural, maybe not outward facing externally, but maybe in the office, it's just your team motivation or something. Yeah.
Okay, so the second question is, who is your favorite vendor that you've been working with?
Probably, my first thought was TikTok jump removal, just because we've had several skip outs or abandonments where the apartment's just left in terrible shape, and I can just call them and have them empty it out for me, so I don't have to deal with everything the resident left behind.
Yeah. So she said ATI. What would you kind of say about that?
That's a really good answer. Yeah, I should have thought about ATI too, because we've had a couple big leak events this past year, and it's nice to be able to call ATI and let them take the wheel on the situation and handle it and, get the leak dried out.
Yeah. All right. And then the last question was, what do you think your biggest impact has been on the community here?
I think probably bringing in like a high standard, like, service-wise, prompt, efficient service with a smile, treating everyone with kindness and respect, training the maintenance team to be prompt and kind and efficient. And with having a new team too, I got a lot of people asking me a lot of questions. So being in a position where I can help guide people to be the best they can be at their jobs and, answer the questions that they have. So probably both. I get a lot of stuff done, whether people see it or don't see it, but also I help the people around me. So I think I bring harmony, vibes to the environment.
Yeah.
She said your adaptability, which I think clearly is very true with kind of what you're talking about. You're really adaptable to different types of situations, and even if they're kind of difficult, you'll just go in with a positive vibe. So interesting. That's fun.
Like the biggest things is, I think I might have mentioned, if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. And, you got to bring a good attitude to an unpleasant task. So, you shouldn't panic when things go wrong, because this is maintenance. Things are going to go wrong. So you just like, okay, I got this, get to work, get it done.
Yeah. We always say on our team, there's no like emergency in marketing. Like marketing isn't like a 911, but I guess we can't say the same for maintenance.
Yeah,
because they definitely are.
Always a 911, it seems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first started talking about the emergency phone, like fire, flood, or blood, they'll call you. And I'm just like, well, fire, no, call 911. Blood, no, call 911. But flood, yes, call me. I'm there.
Yeah. Have you ever lived on site?
I do currently. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get the knock on your door? Do you feel like you've really navigated that well?
Most of these residents wouldn't have the audacity.
Okay.
Yeah. They we got boundaries here. I did have one guy that deigned to knock on my door at 10:30, and I squashed that. I was like,
okay,
I'll help you out this time, but don't ever do that again.
Yeah. In my on-site living days, I got to the point where I put a sign on my front door. It was like the office hours. So yeah, that's really good. That's good. That's great. That's great
to hear.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to be here today with Carrie Crew and with you, Steven. So thank you so much for joining us. It was really great to get to know you and ask you questions. And I'm excited to see what the
Thanks for having me on the show. It's been fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Live from the Lounge, and we will be at Midtown next week. So we will see you then.
Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Big thanks again to our sponsor, Built, the loyalty program for renters. Head to Built.com to learn more.